Hey, Robbie's here.
How's it going, guys? Hope you're having a great Thursday morning. I'm about to get into this question and answers, but first, coffee. Alright, so the first question we have is, what do you do to stay motivated on days you're feeling down? So I feel like there's a lot of days where we have good consistent days, we're feeling upbeat, we're feeling motivated, we're feeling like we're going to conquer the day, but at more times than not, there are days where, you know, it's rainy out, it's dreary, we're tired, and we're not very motivated for what we want to do. I think the best thing to stay motivated when days that you're feeling down is to just think about your why. The reason why you need to do what you need to do, why you're doing what you're doing, you know, why you're pursuing that dream, why you're pursuing this job, you know, why you're pursuing that person you want to be in a relationship with. I think it really comes down to the why. And if you can answer the question of why am I doing this, that is going to help motivate you. I feel like everything in life has to come intrinsically. You know, you can't have an extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is cool, but it's not going to truly push you. Everything has to become internally. If you can truly dig deep down and figure out, like, why am I doing this? What are the reasons I'm doing this? Like, is this going to help me? Do I really want this? And if you can find those answers, then you're going to be able to stay motivated. Other things you can do is just, you know, simple, just, you know, mental, psychological mind games, you know, things where you can, like, motivate yourself, you know, talk yourself up, listen to, like, you know, motivational speeches or something like that, listen to some upbeat music, get hyped for the day, you know, just start rituals. I think morning rituals are a great way to stay motivated and stay consistent. If you can start a good morning routine, you know, getting up every morning, getting some coffee, breakfast, you know, reading a book, listening to music, things like that will help you be consistent with your days, and that'll get you on a good track to stay motivated. Next question, how would you suggest going about the goal to get fit with an extremely busy schedule? So a lot of people have, you know, especially with January and New Year's, a lot of people want to stay healthy, get fit, go to the gym, and a lot of people struggle with that when they have busy, you know, work-life schedules. You know, they have work, and they have to pick up kids at, you know, soccer practice or whatever, you know, they have all these events, stuff like that. So basically, with a very busy life, with things that you have to do, you have to, you know, get done, how do you get yourself in the gym? How do you stay fit? I think there's a couple things you can do. Number one, your diet is really important with staying healthy, staying fit. And I think that one thing that you can always do is choose the correct foods in order to stay healthy and stay fit. If that means meal prepping, you got to do it. I think Sunday nights are a really good time to meal prep. You know, if you're focusing on a good diet, I think Sunday night you can cook a meals for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then do same thing Wednesday night to finish off the week, Thursday and Friday. You know, meals are very important. If you can stay consistent with your diet and, you know, keep track of your calories and make sure you're watching your protein, carbs, and fats and all that stuff like that, that's a great way to, you know, keep track of your, you know, health, because everybody's got to eat. Like, you're more times than not, you're eating throughout the day. And I think if you can stick to a good diet and stay clean with it, like, that's a good way. In terms of working out, I think it really, you know, the basic thing with life is that everybody has 24 hours. Everybody has 24 hours a day. No one has 25, no one has 23. Everybody has 24 hours. And I think it really comes down to how bad you want it. You know, how bad do you want it? How hard are you willing to work? You know, how much time, like sleep, are you willing to sacrifice in order to achieve your goals? And I think, you know, you kind of have to be practical with it. Like, look, you know, you may want 8 hours of sleep every day, but you might have to sacrifice and get only 7 in order to take that extra hour and go to the gym, you know? You might have to wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to go to the gym, or stay up late at night, you know, to go to the gym. You know, it's just like, it's basically like how bad you want it. Now, I understand there are times where it's not always that easy to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Reed, like, I have all this stuff, you know? Sometimes it really isn't that easy, so the best thing to do is do stuff like high circuit workouts. You know, take a 30 to 45 minute window and pick, you know, 6 or 7 exercises and just do them back to back to back, you know, for a big circuit. And I think that's a good way to stay healthy, because not only, like, the working out back to back to back, doing those exercises back to back, that's going to keep your heart rate up, burn some calories, burn that fat, but also the lifting is going to help, you know, get stronger and all that stuff like that. I think you just have to get creative, you know. Really, I mean, my take on it is sacrifice the time. You know, sorry, you can't sleep in, you know, in the mornings, or sorry, you can't go to bed early. Like, take the time, go to the gym. Like, it's gonna suck, but you know what? If it's really what you want to do, if it's a goal of yours, at the end of the day, you're gonna find a way to do it. Somehow, you're going to find a way. And I think you just kind of have to suck it up, honestly. All right, next question. This is probably my question of the day because I love this question a lot. How do I convince my parents that my dreams are important and a backup plan is too distracting? So a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers, a lot of younger adults have big dreams and ambitions and visions and goals and all that good stuff, which is great. I feel like as a human, you should always have something to chase in life. I feel like at times we are suppressed by our friends, family members, teachers, coworkers, anything, to not go after what we want. And I think the hardest ones are your parents, by far. Coworkers, yeah, friends, yeah, but I think your parents are the hardest people to not listen to, essentially. So I think there's a few things you need to understand. Number one, this is your life. At the end of the day, it's your decision. You need to figure out what's best for you. You need to figure out what your morals are, what your inner drives are. Like, it's your life. These are your decisions. I don't think it necessarily comes down to convincing them, because you face it, like, at the end of the day, if you don't convince them, are you just going to say, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to do this other thing and not do what I want to do? Like, no, you're not going to. If you're a true, confident person in yourself, you're not going to do that. You're going to do what you want to do. So I think it doesn't come down to convincing them. I think what it really comes down to is that knowing that failure is a possibility. Hopefully you can succeed. Obviously you do want to succeed and reach these dreams, goals, visions, whatever it is. But failure is always a possibility, and it's always inevitable, on the come up. And I think it more comes down to sitting down, talking to them, and saying, look, this is what I want to do. This is what I love. This is what I'm passionate about. Like, I'm going after this. But I do know that, yeah, I could fail. Yeah, it may not go as planned. But really what I need from you guys, as your parents, loving parents, hopefully you have a great relationship, is that I need your support. I don't need you guys to necessarily agree with what I'm doing. I don't need you guys, to say that, like, oh, well, we think you should do this way. I just need you guys to just support me, because I think many times than not, especially with going towards an endeavor that's, scary or, not what everyone else is doing, or could lead to failure, I think it comes down to the fear of failing in front of, those who you love, and especially your parents. Myself, I stopped going to college. I got my associate's degree and I said, this is it. And my parents weren't thrilled about it. They weren't. But, they've now come to the realization that, look, like, this is what he wants to do. We're going to support him. We're going to love him. And, that's the end of it. And I think that even though that's a scary decision of making something like that, I think if you can get them to, just support you, that's a big thing. Fear of failing in front of your parents is, that's huge, and I understand that failure. And I think if you can if that's, where this is, if that's something that you're coming from, fear of failing in front of your parents, I think you need to sit down and be like, look, I want to do this. This is what I'm going to do. I could fail. If I fail, I don't want you guys to be upset with me, because that will completely destroy my dreams. That'll completely, make me feel down on myself. I just want your support. That's all I want. Like, I love you guys, but this is my life, and this is what I have to do for myself, for my happiness, for my sanity. And I think that's the approach you got to take. It's not so much about convincing them. You're not necessarily going to convince them. When I told my parents that I didn't want to go to college anymore, like, I didn't necessarily convince them. I basically took the stance of, like, look, this is what I'm going to do. Like, this is what I want to do, and they had to understand. Did they like it? No, but, like, especially if you're an adult, like, it's your life, it's your decisions. At the end of the day, like, this is your life. And I think, from my experience, like, they didn't like it necessarily, but, they had to accept it. Now, with they see what I'm doing, stuff like that, like, okay, like, they're starting to see, like, all right, well, he's, doing his own thing, and things are starting to work out. And I think now they're like, all right, we can totally support what you're doing, because we see that there is a possibility in this. And I think that's really what it comes down to. It has nothing to do with convincing. I think it really just does is being honest with them, being real, like, look, this is my life. This is what I need to do. I love you guys, I just need your support, and just go for it. Go for it. Don't be held back. There's no sense of being held back by anybody in life. This is your life. Do it for you. Last question. How do you conquer insecurities? We all have them. Plain and simple. Everybody has an insecurity. rather it be, you know, their looks, their personality, you know, their ideas, their thoughts, their financial state, relationship stage, you know, anything. Everybody has an insecurity. My biggest insecurity for the longest time, all throughout high school, hands down, was my acne. And you can see there's still scarring. And I dealt with that every single day. It sucked. You know, if anything bad happened to me or got rejected by a girl, I got immediately, you know, it's my acne, you know, I'm ugly and all this stuff like that. And I had to deal with it. And I think the best way to deal with insecurities is face it head on and make those decisions you need to, you know, change it. You know, if you're overweight, make those decisions to go to the gym, eat healthier. You know, if you feel like you're too small and you want to get bigger, same thing, you know, go to the gym, eat healthier. You know, if it's not necessarily a physical thing but emotional thing, like, you know, you gotta face it and be real with yourself. Don't be afraid of asking for help from someone, you know, in any kind of way. Like, asking for help does not show weakness, it shows strength, because a lot of times when people need help, they don't ask for it and it leads them to a bad path. You need to ask for help if that's what you need. I think dealing with insecurities, like, it's tough, but I think it really comes down to facing the fact that this is who you are and you have to love yourself for that, and understanding that your insecurities are what you make them. They're not insecurities because other people think they're insecurities. They're insecurities because you think they're insecurities. It's a psychological thing. You know, I'm not sitting here, you know, with recording this thing and worrying about, you know, what they think. You know, like, it doesn't matter. You know, and they're not gonna put on me like, oh, like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, it all comes down to me. I'm gonna do this for myself. You know, and the same thing with insecurities. It's psychological. It's a mindset. You don't have insecurities because other people think you have insecurities. You have insecurities because you think you have insecurities. And I think if you can change your mindset and figure out, you know what, this is me, this is what I love, you know, it's part of me, and I'm gonna embrace it, do that. If it's not something that you love, then do something to change it. There's always something you can do in life to change, you know, something, you know, there's always something you can do, you know, if it's physical appearance, do something physical. If it's a mental appearance, if it's a mental thing, you know, change the way you structure your mind. You know, there's always something, whatever it is, you gotta figure it out. And I think asking for help is a huge step, you know. I think insecurities are tough, everybody has them, but insecurities is a mindset. It's a mindset, and I think if you can change the way you view it, it changes everything. You know, my acne is gone, I still have scarring, you know, but I embrace the fact that this is me and this is who I am, you know, and I understand that, you know, everything happens for a reason. I think that's the biggest thing, you know. If I didn't have acne in high school, you know, would I be here right now, like, giving this advice? Like, no, like, where else would I be? Like, who knows? And I think, you know, you have to embrace it. You know, there's a little bit of serendipity in life that kind of controls, you know, where things go, and I think you just have to embrace that thing, you know. Don't be afraid to face your insecurities, okay? So that's going to conclude it, guys. This is the second episode of But First, Coffee. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for next week. It'll be the third series. If you liked it, please hit like. If you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe at the bottom. I'm going to be bringing out these videos every week and other videos. And if you have questions for next series, please comment below, message me, whatever you can. I'll catch you guys later. Take care.